Hey guys, what's going on? This is Teo Vanyo here, and in this video I'm going to show you basically one thing that a lot of my customers are not doing in terms of Facebook advertising, and they're just missing this step completely, okay? They're kind of overlooking it and they're not really paying attention to their Facebook ads campaigns, and I've seen a lot of my customers, lose a lot of money from this. And I've also, because I've taught this method to a few customers, also I've seen them actually make more money and save a lot of money on their ad campaigns and turn their losing ad campaigns into actual winners. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly what to do, what to avoid, and basically how to do that. So let's just dive right in. Okay, so here's one of our ad accounts. And as you can see here, one of the things that one of my customers are basically forgetting to do is that they're forgetting to use the data that you already have and find basically winners inside your winning campaigns. As long as your campaigns are generating results, they're generating purchases, they're making money for you. Okay, the best way to do that is, of course, okay, we're going to find out how much in purchases that it's been through. Okay, so for example, this one campaign, $12,000 spent, $47,000 made. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to find out which of our interests and basically pinpoint our demographics a lot better on Facebook. Okay, so what you do is you go down to where it says breakdown. Okay, so when you click on this, you're going to be able to break it down by age, gender, both age and gender, locations, country, region. Now I haven't really gotten much luck from these here, but age and gender is usually what I use most. Okay, I also use platform and device and placement and device to basically find out where my customers are coming from. And you'd actually be surprised because a lot of these campaigns, okay, until I've actually got enough data, okay, you have to have enough data to be able to make a decision on whether or not it's a winning campaign or not. But based on this data, I have enough data, 1,000 purchases, 200, 300 purchases. I have enough data to basically justify me saying that, okay, only a certain amount of people are buying, only these types of people are buying. Okay, so for example, if we go to age and gender, we're going to click on this. Okay, now we can segment our campaign. For example, this campaign here with over 1,169 purchases, we're going to see, okay, the exact age and gender of who bought that product. Okay, now each campaign is going to be different. So for example here, we didn't target 18 to 24-year-olds, but we did target 25 to 55. Okay, and these are the results. Okay, as a matter of fact, we actually got a little bit over 55 as well. We got 55 to 64 as well, but not as much. But these are the results. Okay. As you can see, what we're trying to look for is the cost, okay? And this is the cost to acquire the result, which is the sale. This is the cost to require the engagement or whatever it is that you've optimized your pixel for. In this case, I've optimized my pixel for purchases. Okay, so basically, whenever someone makes a purchase, it's going to log it on Facebook. And this is what happens. You want to look at the cost. Okay, so for example, it cost me $9 to acquire a customer versus over here it costs $36 to acquire this customer. Okay, so for example, this one here costs $3.66 to acquire a customer. But of course, this data is really not known. It's unknown to Facebook. So you want to find the ones that are actually like male or female. Okay, so as you can see here, 25 to 34, female performed a lot better than male. But in terms of sales, they both made sales. So I'm going to keep those campaigns. I'm going to keep this campaign and keep it running because these people are still buying. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If it's still if it's not broken, don't fix it. All right, don't try to fix it if it ain't broke. So in this case here, $1,800 and $8,000. $1,800 spent, $8,000 made on Facebook. Okay, $2,000 spent, $7,000 made. So of course, obviously, $1,800 to make $8,000. This one, of course, made more sense versus this one spent $2,000 and made $7,000. Okay, so obviously females made a lot more sense, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop my male campaign. It's still going to keep growing. It's still going to be making money for me. Okay, same thing here. Okay, we have female and male. They're both still making money. Okay, we have here another one, female 45 to 54, female and male. Okay, they're both still making money. Although this one right here, this one campaign, this male campaign, it's not making as much as I would like it to. Okay, because the product cost right here is roughly around 50%. So if you divide that in half, basically you'll get $2,250 for a $2,000 ad spend. So you're making about $200, $300. Okay, so this one right here, okay, a little bit of a riskier campaign. So if you wanted to, you can actually close out this campaign. You can save yourself $2,000 and allocate that money into another campaign. But it's all up to you. If you want to use this to build up an email list, audience, and things like that, go for it. But if you're looking in terms of like ROI and profitability, then I would shut it down and allocate that funds into something bigger and scale out the bigger campaigns like this one, the female campaigns, 45 to 54. Okay, $9.60 per conversion. We have here $9.15 conversion. As we can see here, another one, $10.15. So basically what's happening here is that females are a lot easier to convert than males, okay? Because females have a lower cost per conversion than males. Okay, we have here $9.60 for females versus $16 to acquire a male customer. $10 to acquire a female customer, $12 to acquire a male customer. And of course, each campaign is going to vary because you're going to have different products. And for example, females are not going to buy, manly shirts, and females aren't going to buy certain things that men buy, like men deodorant, right? Things like that. Or men are probably not going to buy female things, like women deodorant, whatever, right? So each campaign is going to be different. So you want to look at your numbers very closely. And once you start scaling, okay, this is the part where you start to scale. You can find out your numbers and you can basically duplicate that campaign and create a specific campaign just for 25 to 34 males, 25 to 34 females, and basically test that out. In this case, we grouped everything together in one campaign so we can find our data and easily be able to show you guys our data on this particular campaign and what we've done in terms of finding out the numbers. And this is what we're doing. We're finding out the numbers. And it's very important that you find out the numbers because sometimes you'll find a certain demographic that's not making you any money. We'll go over some of our other campaigns here shortly, but we're going to see that some of these demographics are not making us any money. Okay, now let's go over to another breakdown is we can do placement and platform and device. Okay, so we're going to click on that. And essentially what this is going to do is it's going to show us, what types of platforms our buyers are coming from. Okay, so for example, we have here most of them are coming from Facebook. Okay, they're using Android smartphones. Okay, we see the majority of them are using Android smartphones, and we spent here $6,000 to make $24,000. Okay, and another platform is of course Facebook using the iPhone. Okay, we spent here $5,000 to make $16,000. Okay, and you want to always look at the cost per conversion. Okay, so for example, if it's costing you only $9 for Android smartphone versus $13, obviously the smarter choice would be to go for Android smartphones. Okay, and then we also go back to the demographics before. Like for example, we had 25 to 34 females and males using Android smartphones. Okay, so now when you're creating your next ad, you're becoming more and more specific. Okay, so for example, in this case here, we used Instagram. Okay, so Instagram did not yield us many results. Okay, for example, spent $30, made $58. We actually lost money on this because our actual cost of the product is about 50%. So we actually lost money on that. Okay, Android tablets. Okay, you can find out that hey, Facebook. People using Android tablets, these are the results. Okay, $17 per conversion, $15 per conversion. Okay, we're actually losing money on these campaigns. All right, another one here, iPods. Okay, you can find out if they're using their iPods. All right, to buy your product. All right, we had one sale here, cost us $5.79 to get one sale. Okay, so like I mentioned before, you want to look back and see your numbers, see if they're making sense. Okay, if your campaigns, if you're spending money on a campaign that's not making you money, but you're spending money anyway, then it doesn't make sense for you to continue with that. What makes sense is that you're segmenting your campaign, and you're creating different ad sets. Okay, so these ad sets could be 25 to 34 females who are using Android smartphones, and or iPhones. Okay, so you can use that in a separate interest, and I'll show you that in a little bit, on how to do that. Okay, we're going to go over that as well in this video. So basically the whole premise of this is that to find out your data, find out what's working for you, find out if desktop is converting a lot better versus iPhone versus Android smartphones. Okay, find out the placements. All right, and once you have that data, once you have the per cost, you can go out there and create these campaigns specifically for that, so that you don't lose money every time you're spending money. Now, of course, if it's making money, for example, iPhone and desktop, right? It's still making money. It's still turning a profit. Then keep it running. It doesn't make sense for you to stop it. Just keep it running, but just delete the other ones that aren't making sense, that aren't making you any money. Okay. So, for example, we have another campaign here. Okay. In this case, we have, okay, for example, desktop converted a lot better for this campaign, right? We have a $12.67 conversion on desktop versus the iPhone. So we actually made more money on desktop than we did on iPhone. Actually, more profits, not more money. But of course, we did make more money with the iPhone, and it still turned a profit. So it's still okay, right? But if you want higher margins, better margins, then you would go with the desktop and optimize for that. Same thing here, Android smartphone. Okay, apparently a lot of people are using Android smartphones and making purchases on stores. Okay, iPads, right? You want to find out if you want to delete iPad or keep iPad. You can exclude iPad. Now, one thing that I've heard a lot is that when you're doing your interest, you should have just as many excludes as you have includes. And that's really when you're really breaking it down and scaling up to basically specific and more specific campaigns, more niche specific campaigns, is when you start breaking these down to those types of campaigns. Okay, for example, here's another one. Okay, we have here iPhones. Okay, obviously iPhone outperformed desktop. Okay, same thing with Androids. Okay, Androids, looks like to me Androids are outperforming iPhones almost all the time from these three campaigns. Okay, we have here desktop cost is $27. Okay, of course we didn't make a profit on that. We actually lost money on this. So obviously the obvious choice for this is to remove desktop on our campaigns. We don't want to keep spending money, spending needless money that we don't have to spend by doing these campaigns. Okay, for example, another one here, iPhone. Okay, $9.29. That's a pretty good conversion cost to get a customer, right? It cost us $860 and we made $3,879. This is a good campaign. We're going to keep this, and we might even just scale it. Okay, as much as we would scale the Android smartphone devices as well. Okay, so let's do one more. Okay, let's break it down by placement and device. Okay, we did platform and device. Now we're going to do placement and device. Okay, now for example, this one right here, it converted really well in terms of the newsfeed. But look at what happened here on the right column. Okay, we spent $99 to get a customer. This is horrible. Like, why would you want to spend money, 99 bucks to get a customer, right? And you would not know this if you did not do your research properly. You wouldn't know if, oh, is my right column doing better or my left or my newsfeed? You don't know this until you actually do the research. And when people are saying, in general, like, oh, right column doesn't work, or newsfeed doesn't work, or Instagram doesn't work, you don't know that until you actually do your test. Okay, you can't say that a certain platform is not working because, for example, on Instagram, if you're selling skin and health and beauty, that's going to work really well, right? Because Instagram is basically, a lot of people are advertising on Instagram for these products. Okay, and if you're advertising, for example, in that niche, you're probably going to do really well compared to someone who's advertising, drones or more niche specific niches. Okay, you can't really generalize and say that a certain traffic source is not working. That's a very amateur, a very novice way of thinking. You have to think like an expert. You have to go out there and test all these different platforms and find out what's working for you, because some platform might work a lot better than another one. Okay, so for example, here we have desktop. Okay, desktop converted at $6.61 per customer. This is great. This is amazing. We're gonna ramp this up, and basically it's desktop on the news feed. Okay, desktop news feed. So it's specifically for desktop and newsfeed items. And another one right here, okay, right column. Obviously, we don't want to do this. Desktop right column is because it's costing us 99 bucks to get a customer, right? Mobile newsfeed always makes sense. $13. Okay, we're still turning a profit there. Okay, Instagram feed. We're actually making money on Instagram. Okay, so for example, this one right here, using iPhone Instagrams. Okay, we're actually turning a profit here. But on the iPad, we're not really turning a profit. We're actually losing money. Okay, iPad, newsfeed, Facebook. We're actually losing money because it's costing us $21 to acquire a customer. Okay, we want to cut our costs down a lot. So for example, another one here, Facebook newsfeed, Android smartphone, $6, not $9.66. Okay, right here, Android. Okay, now we're finding some data that we want to get rid of. Okay, for example, Facebook newsfeed and Android tablets. We want to exclude Android tablets from this particular campaign. Now this is very important because let's say you're scaling your campaign to, you're spending $5,000 a day and you're really scaling your campaigns. You're making lots and lots of money. You don't want to spend another $1,000 or $2,000 on Android tablets where you're spending $17 per customer. Even though you're getting customers in, you don't want to spend that money because that's money that you could be saving and spending on another platform, on another device. Okay, you don't want to basically spend that money because you can save a lot of money and actually turn more profits and get better margins on your campaigns when you're doing this. Okay, for example, $15. We're finding out that, hey, Instagram feed on mobile with smartphone Android, we want to exclude this from our campaign. We're going to exclude it. We're going to exclude Android tablets on the Facebook newsfeed, okay, because it's just costing us too much money. But on the other hand, for example, iPod, right, we saw this, well, this is just really not enough data. But obviously, someone who purchased from their iPod only cost us $5.79, okay, but it's not really enough data to be able to determine whether or not we're going to pursue that campaign. Another one right here, okay, Facebook newsfeed desktop is doing a lot better. Actually, it's right column desktop. Surprisingly, right column desktop did a lot better than Facebook newsfeed desktop. Okay, Facebook newsfeed did a lot worse than the Facebook mobile did a lot worse than the desktop. Okay, for this particular campaign. So you would never know that until you actually go in there and say, okay, I want to just do desktop or I just want to do mobile. But you do know that a lot of people are on mobile. I believe it's like 80% of people are actually 80% or 90% of our traffic actually comes from mobile. So if you want the bulk traffic, you will have to go for mobile. But if you're basically targeting like a specific product, like you're targeting like an info product, or you're targeting something like that, you want to check your numbers and basically find out if mobile is converting a lot better than desktop. Okay, and you'd be surprised sometimes as well. Okay, obviously Android smartphones doing really well as always, and mobile newsfeed on the iPad, okay, did a lot worse, but it did a lot better than the mobile iPhone newsfeed. Okay, we're converting here at $14.25 versus $15. Here we go, boom, right here. Facebook newsfeed mobile. We do not want to do this. Okay, it's $62 to acquire a customer. We want to exclude this from all of our campaigns or for this particular campaign because it's not converting at all. This Android tablet device is not converting for us. So we don't want to pay $62 per customer. Okay, that's $62 that we could be putting into another campaign and make 4 or 5 extra sales. We don't want to do that anymore. Okay, so I know we covered a lot here. Basically, went in depth into how to do all of this. What we're going to do next is basically show you, okay, how to do this inside your campaign, how to basically scale inside of your campaigns. All right, guys, so now we're going to create an ad. And basically, we're going to show you, because we found our numbers, what you want to do is you want to basically duplicate your ads. Okay, so you want to go into your ad set, and whatever ad set that you have, you want to duplicate that. And basically, with this duplicate ad set, it's kind of like a more optimized ad set. Okay, because you're optimizing this ad set based on the data that you have. Okay, so for example, 25 to 54, 25 to 34 females who are using Android smartphones and iPhone devices, and excluding the other devices that we had before. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go into, we're going to do increase by conversions. We're going to do website conversions. Okay, we're going to just name this whatever. Okay, so test run. Okay. Essentially, what we're going to do here is we're going to target our audience. So our audience, we're going to do, for example, we're going to do 24 to 34. Okay. We're going to create this. We're going to create. Okay, we have that. Okay, we're going to do females. Okay, and then you're going to put in your detailed targeting. Now, the best part about Facebook is that when you're doing your detailed targeting, Facebook will actually give you the gold. Basically, when you type in an interest, okay, so for example, if you type in pet clothing, okay, and you have here pet care products, pet clothing, okay, I don't know why it's showing 200 people interested. That's kind of weird. Well, we have here pet care products, okay, over 49 million people liking pet care products, and this is a behavior, okay, so it's very important that you also understand behaviors versus interests when it comes to targeting. Behaviors mean that these people are actually consumers. Facebook knows this data. Facebook has found out that these people actually purchased pet care products in the past. Okay, these are consumers that are likely to be heavy buyers of pet care products based on their actual past purchasing behavior. It's very important that you understand behaviors. Okay, interest versus behaviors. So let's type in dog. Okay. Dog is an interest, okay? You're going to target more broad. You're going to target the general audience, people who like dogs, okay? This could be literally anyone. They don't even have to be dog owners. They could just like dogs. They just like that interest, okay? It doesn't have to be dog owners or anything like that. They just like dogs, okay? What you want to do is you want to find behaviors, okay? So what you can do is you can just type in, for example, behavior, pet behavior, or keyword behavior, and you'll find a whole bunch of behaviors that Facebook will give to you. Okay, so for example, we have here people who buy pet care products. Facebook knows this already. 50 million people out there. Okay, another one, more specific now, dog food products. Okay, dog products, cat food products, dog products, cat products. Okay, people who are dog owners, more specifically, people whose hobbies and interests include owning dogs. And this is basically collected from the U.S. Census, warranty cards, registration information, the Department of Motor Vehicles, public record information, survey data, and other offline sources. All right, and then it says data must be validated by at least 2 sources to be included. So Facebook is going out there. They're going out there and finding DMV records. They're going out there finding registration, pet registration records. They're finding these owners. They're taking all this data. I know it's kind of like stalkerish, right? But they're finding all this data and they're putting it together for you, specifically for you, to help you target these specific customers. So you can go out there and say, I want to target pet owners, dog owners. Okay, you can do that. Okay, so for example, we're going to pick here dog owners. All right, we're gonna do 24 to 34 women. Okay, and this is after we found out our winning ads, our winning products. So we go out there, we test and test and test and test and test, and we find out. We go out to the general audience. We go broad. Okay, this is what I mean when we go broad. So when you first start doing your Facebook ads, you go broad. You don't do just pet owners. You go do something like this. You go do dogs. Okay, but more specifically, if you can, try to find like dog magazines, because a lot of times the magazines have the best interest to target. So when you're first doing your Facebook ad, a lot of people are going to teach you to go broad, but more specifically in the more passionate interests. Okay, so for example, in any niche, magazines always work really well. So for example, we're going to do dog magazine. We're going to add that. Okay, we're going to do dog journal. Here's another one. And Facebook's giving you the gold right here. Facebook is basically giving you the interest based on the previous interest that you've put in, that you've plugged in. Okay, and once you do that, they're gonna give you all of the interests that are related. Fido Friendly Magazine, Dog World Newspaper, Dogs and Reviews, Doggington Post, right? Dog Living Magazine. Okay, now you're building up your potential reach. You're only at 270,000 people. We want to go a little bit more broad. Typically, I go up to 500,000, but that's me. 500,000 to a maximum of at least 3 million or 2 million. If I really want to go broad and I really want to find out if this product is actually selling. And what I would do is I would go in here, put in all these keywords here, okay, all these interests, and basically this is a good way to basically go broad, but also stay inside your target. Okay, we're all targeting here dog magazines. Okay, dog.com, Life with Dogs, Hot Dog Collar, Dogwork.com. Okay, if I did my research on this, like you can also go in and check each and every single one of these pages and find out what the engagement is like. If people are actually sharing, if they're posting, if they're commenting, because those are the best types of people to target, because they're also going to like, comment, share on your actual stuff as well. So you want to do that, and you want to find these customers, these exact customers. And of course, as time goes on, Facebook will optimize this all for you, and it's going to get a lot easier once you have the data. But like I said, the keyword there is the data. You must have the data for Facebook to be able to properly optimize. A lot of our customers, they don't understand that. You have to go out there, you have to spend money and get the data. Once you have the data, you can easily sell more and more products. Okay, the initial start is the hardest part. In every single business, the initial push, the initial go, it's the hardest part. And any entrepreneur, any business owner who's successful will be able to tell you that. It's the hardest part, especially in the beginning, when you don't have any data, when you don't have any customers, and when you don't have anywhere to go. You have to basically find out your data. You have to go out there and pinpoint your data. Okay, this is very important, guys. Let me just close this. Okay, now one thing, once you have your data, okay, you grouped all your interests here. Now you have a broad enough data to be able to go out there and say, okay, now I want to go and search my audience. Okay, so now I want to search for my audience. I want to see who's buying this product and if this product is actually making me any money. If this product is turning a profit, that means it's a winning product and you're gonna make sales. Once you know that, the next step is to, like what I showed you before, go into your audience, okay, and go into your basically break down your audience by age and gender, placement and device, platform and device, and see who your buyers are, where your buyers are coming from, what you're spending money on. If you're spending money on crap, delete it, okay, and just exclude it. And I'm going to show you how to exclude it right here. So when you exclude, this is what you do. You exclude people, okay? So for example, one thing that you can exclude is you can do something like Android tablet, okay? All Android devices, okay? We don't really want to do that. We want to do smartphone and tablet owners, okay? Not really that, but let's go to basically just tablets, okay? Android tablets right here. We want to exclude that, but that's just an interest. So what we do is we go down here, but you can use this exclude for other things as well. You can do demographics, okay? You can do interests, based on behaviors, okay? You have all the behaviors right here. Okay, you have digital classifications, okay, automotive, anniversary, whatever. You have all your behaviors right here, purchase behaviors, right? Clothing, and if you see a behavior, if you see something in your data, for example, people who are using Android tablets, for example, like what we did before, we're going to go to placements, okay? So we're going to edit the placements, and let's say we don't want to do Instagram, okay, because Instagram's not doing very well. We're going to remove that, and we can also exclude categories, okay, as well. We can exclude, we can do specific mobile devices. You can apply block lists, okay, and it's very important that when you're digging deep into Facebook advertising and into Facebook placements, that you take a look at all of this and find out what's working for you. Okay, maybe audience network is not working really well, but we usually keep that on. Okay, let's see, mobile only. Okay, we can exclude device types to only mobile. So this campaign particularly will be 24 to 34 females, plus mobile only. Okay, plus broad interests. Okay, so dog interest. Okay, and you can also specify which mobile devices, Android or iOS. Okay, and when you create these campaigns, you're creating this campaign very, very specific. Okay, you're going deep. You're going and saying, okay, I just want to target just this type of crowd, just this type of people. Okay, and then what you do is you can also narrow down your audience based on certain behaviors too. So, for example, one thing that I do is they have to be on a Wi-Fi connection. Okay, because people who are on Wi-Fi connection, you see how it went from like 400,000, 490,000 to like 430,000? Because people who are on a Wi-Fi connection, they're not outside, they're not distracted, they're not, at a park or at a party or whatever. They're sitting indoors, they have a Wi-Fi connection, a stable Wi-Fi connection. They're probably at a coffee shop or whatever. They had the ability, they had the effort to go and type in the Wi-Fi password to get into Wi-Fi. That means they're there for a while, right? So they have time to browse around and actually make a purchase. Versus someone who's, on their phone and walking somewhere, or, not really paying attention. When they're on Wi-Fi, I feel like they're a little bit more connected. And so I've seen that an increase in sales as well by using Wi-Fi connection. But you want to test it out. It all comes down to testing out your campaigns and finding out what's working for you. Okay, but essentially that's what you want to do. Okay, now once you find your interests, okay, dig a little bit deeper on your demographics. Find out, who's buying. Okay, like what we mentioned before, what we find out, placements, age and gender, device and placements, platform and devices. Okay, you want to find those out. You want to find out your numbers, find out your data. Remove anything that's not making you any money. Okay. Next thing is, what I would highly suggest is that when you're creating your ad sets, you're very specific on each ad set. Okay, because what you're doing there is you're having more control. When you're going out there and you're able to find out how much it's costing you to get a customer in a specific ad set, for example, females only, 34 to 25 to 34. You duplicate that same ad set and say males only, 25 to 34, and the same exact criteria that you have here. Okay, the only difference is that you've changed one or two things. You've only changed one thing actually. You've changed the male feature and the female and female. Okay. Next thing you can change. Okay, now you're going from 25 to 34. Now you can go from 35 to 44. Okay, do the same thing. Two more campaigns, male and female. You have more control. Okay, the next one. Okay, you're doing 45 to 54. Okay, do the same thing, male and female. Now you have 6 different campaigns. What you're doing there is you have more control over your campaigns. Okay, you can control basically and shut off the campaigns that's costing you a lot more money and not turning any profits for you versus the campaigns that are making profits for you. Okay, now Facebook advertising, it can be a daunting task. It can be a full-time job. All right, it is a lot of work, but if you do these campaigns correctly and if you basically find the data first, okay, once you find the data, you're able to scale. Now we're at the point of we're basically scaling our ad campaigns. Once you do that, you're able to see who your buyers are, exactly what ads to shut off, and exactly who to target, because that's very important when it comes to saving money and increasing your margins and ROI on your Facebook ad campaigns. Now, in this case, we really dove right in and got deeper than most training courses in terms of like who to target and things like that. Now, one thing you can also do is typically Facebook just recently changed this, but now they have 1 day click or view, 7 days click, 28 days. But before that, it was just based on clicks. Okay, so basically, one day click means that Facebook is optimizing your campaigns based on whenever that one person clicks. It's based on like a 24 hours basis. Okay, so whenever they click on it, they're going to see if that person actually converts into a sale. What you want to do is if you have a product that it takes time for people to think about, and it's going to take them like a few days to actually think about before making a buying decision. Okay, they're not really impulsive buyers. What you want to do is you want to do the 7-day campaign, because within 7 days, Facebook's going to optimize and it's going to show your ad to that person for up to 7 days to make sure that they buy your product. Okay, the 1-day campaign is just going to optimize it for 1 day, and if that person doesn't buy, but let's say they do buy, 3 or 4 days later, it's really just still going to be optimized for that 1-day campaign. But for 7 days, if you optimize that, it gives Facebook a little bit better understanding. Now, with the 1-day campaign, basically it lets you know essentially who's buying within that 1 day. Okay, for 7 days, it's a little bit different, because in 7 days, Facebook's going to optimize it for basically who your buyers are within 7 days. So if they don't buy right away, but they buy 3 or 4 days later, Facebook's going to help optimize that data and group that data a lot better and a lot easier for you, and optimize that data for 7-day campaigns. Because a lot of times you're going to find that not a lot of people are impulsive buyers for your specific product. Okay, they're not going to buy right away on the first shot. They're going to buy probably within 3 or 4 days, and you're going to be able to find that out. Facebook's actually going to be able to find that out for you and help you improve and optimize your data for you. Okay, so like we mentioned before, when it comes to scaling your ad campaigns, this is exactly how you do it. Okay, you're going to basically change 1 or 2 things on each campaign. Okay, initially you had that big campaign. You had that one campaign that had all the interests. You're doing targeting from 25 to maybe 55, both males and female, all placements, all devices. Okay, now you're really breaking it down. You're doing multiple campaigns, and you're doing more campaigns that you can control. And the object of this is to lower your cost per customer. Okay, because all of these ads that you're running, okay, let's say you're running 6 different ads, and you have male, female, male, female, male, female, with different age ranges. Okay, they're all competing together, and what that does is it basically Facebook is optimizing for those more specific campaigns. Okay, for those age ranges, those placements, those devices. And they're optimizing it just for those campaigns. Now you have more control. You can say, okay, now I'm seeing, maybe 34 to 45 is not really converting. 34 to 45 males is not converting at all. It's actually losing me money. I've spent $1,000 on this campaign and I've lost money on it. You want to shut it off completely and allocate that money into your other campaigns and start scaling that way. Okay. Another thing that I've seen in terms of Facebook advertising is that I've talked to my Facebook rep about this. I actually have a Facebook rep over the phone, and we talk every single week. And basically what he says is that you want to make sure that your Facebook campaigns are extremely relevant, and they're not abusive, and they're not abusive to the network. Okay, because Facebook's goal is to be able to show relevant advertisements on other people's news feeds. Okay, they're not. Facebook does not want their customers to log into Facebook and see non-relevant ads and automatically shut down Facebook, sign out of Facebook, and say, I don't want to use Facebook anymore. I'm done with Facebook. They don't want people to do that, because they're going to lose customers as well. Okay, like in any business, you're gonna gain customers, you're gonna lose customers. Okay, it's a give and take. But hopefully you gain more customers than you lose, right? But same thing with Facebook. It's a business. Okay, they don't want to lose customers, and Facebook they do lose customers because of non-relevant ads and abusive ads and things like that in the system. And that's how a lot of these advertisers are getting their ads accounts shut down. They're getting all the money that they spent on these ad accounts are getting them shut down because they're abusing the system, or people are complaining and they don't like the ads. So make sure that your ads are really relevant. The images are really, really good, okay? And you're showing these ads to those more relevant people, because the more relevant you get on Facebook, the more Facebook will actually reward you with cheaper costs to get your customers. Okay, and of course, when you're breaking this down, you're breaking it down to exactly who your buyers are, specifically who your customers are. Facebook's going to reward you with that because you're going out there actively and finding out this data. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this. And if you have any questions, feel free to email us at sales@socialstinger.com or myself, Teo@socialstinger.com. I'll be glad to help. Thanks so much for watching.